So, how do you?
Because nobody knows you. They're
You've
just
been
watching.
here for now,
When do we start?
3-4 months now. 4 months.
Probably about
Has it
4
been
months?
4 months?
Probably a little more than that.
How'd you hear
Maybe.
about Alpha Fitness?
Raymond.
When did you? Huh?
Ray.
Oh,
Yeah, Ray did.
How do you
Yeah.
know Ray?
So I started going to that Bible study, that Soldiers of the Cross that he's
Yeah.
involved in. I've
Yeah.
been going there since, man, I was in.
Bible study?
Yeah.
Bring it all the way.
All the way up.
Yeah, I got to a good one. So I say
Test. And then if I'm passionate, I'm gonna talk like this.
Use your hands.
Yeah. Yeah. So I met Ray at that Bible study. When I first started going there, it was probably like maybe 20 guys. Now it's like, I don't even know. They probably have over 100 members.
Whoa.
But he's like,
So unclip it, bring it up to your stream, just so the top part is.
oh, it's flipping back, huh?
Right.
So it's like that.
Which is the
Is that
top
better?
part?
Yeah.
Which one's the top
I'm
part?
passionate now. Extremely passionate.
Misa, which one's the top part?
These
Is it a little metal?
motherfuckers.
Yeah, that's the top part? Okay. I'm sorry.
No, it's all
This
good.
is all new.
Loud.
It's all new and exciting.
I know, right?
Okay.
Some high tech stuff right here.
Hang on a second. I'm gonna have you to switch.
Here you go.
So Seven, put that right where you're gonna put it. Put it on the bottom of the stream. There you go. Yeah, there we go.
We good?
Loud.
I'm gonna give you a 3. Hang on.
Hey, I didn't even check my fucking makeup or nothing, eh?
All
How's
right.
my hair, Otto?
Beautiful.
2, 1.
Welcome back. Nobody's hot off the mats with our guy over here, Jacob Marquez.
Yes, sir.
I want to start off this podcast by sending my condolences and paying respects to the Palacio family. Adrian Palacio, unfortunately, passed away abruptly this past weekend. I personally didn't know him, but I do know a coach over there, Jaime Peña Senior, and his boy Noah and his boy Jaime Jr. So there is that community
Right.
connection there.
Yeah.
So they reached out. Wife Veronica, thank you very much for reaching out and including me in his legacy. So he watched this podcast. I felt it'd only be right to pay our respects, and our prayers go out to his wife Veronica and his son Christian and the whole family over there at Truth Boxing. And just a tragedy whenever someone's taken.
Yeah.
A father, a coach, a member of the community. So deepest condolences and prayers and best wishes to the family. We do have a link that we'll be putting up. There's a GoFundMe to help out. So any donations will definitely be appreciated and respected. So please get that out there. Let's help as much as we can. All right.
Amen.
Amen.
All right.
So let's get to the guest,
Yes, sir.
the man of the hour, Jacob Marquez. Why don't you tell us a little bit, man, about you?
Yeah. So first of all, it's a pleasure to be on. Thank you guys for having me. I know
Oh,
we've been
man,
planning
thank
on doing something like this for quite some time now. So finally,
We've been talking about it.
yeah, for a while. So it's good. It's good to be on and to be here, honestly. So yeah, I'm 29 years old. Pretty much born and raised here in Turlock. And I was just explaining to the guys that I kind of got synced up with you from Ray. Raymond.
Mutual friend.
Yeah. Oh man. So I met
Brother
him.
Ray. Shout out to Brother Ray out there.
Oh man, nothing but respect for him, and honestly, just being around him, his joy that he always, carries about
He is,
himself.
dude.
It's-
Positive dude.
Yeah, man,
Yeah.
just attracted to him right away. But yeah, so I was going to a Bible study. That's how we kind of met up, Soldiers of the Cross there in Modesto, and we were kind of talking about at that time I was a new father, and I was kind of letting him know like I wanted to put my son in something. I just didn't know where to go, and I knew he kind of had a little bit of a fighting background. I seen some of his posts when he was coming here. And so he recommended you guys right away. He was like, that's my brother. It's very family oriented there. he did let me know that you weren't a Christian, right? A believer. And I was like, bro, it don't matter to me. You know, I'm going to go wherever.
Yeah, what were you expecting when he said that?
I mean, I
foul mouth.
right. No, not at all, right? I mean, that's the background I come from. But to me, I think it was just, I think you're just setting proper expectations, you know?
Yeah.
So it was cool. And I knew when he said that, I'm like, okay, it's probably something, you know, to it, right? You just don't say that about somebody. So when I got here, I quickly kind of knew what that was about, you know, definitely keep it real. And, but yeah, no, it was all good. And so I brought my son here, I think, about a year and a half ago. And I think we kind of mutually decided that he was a little too young, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we came and scoped it out and everything. And that was when you were still doing the what was the pup program?
The Alpha Pup program. Yeah. Definitely had, we got to the point where we had about maybe 14, 15 pups in this, on these small mats.
Yeah.
And it was going well. But, you know, like times change, kids change.
Yeah.
We'll get into that. How do you think that the effect of training with next year to your boy? Because he was 6.
Yeah.
Right? He's 7 now.
Yeah. I think he turned 7 in April. I'm bad with dates and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, he's 6 now. So yeah, we started when he was 6. And yeah, when I reached out.
So he's not 7 yet?
No.
Oh, man.
Yeah, no, he's
Wow.
He's 6. Yeah.
Well, no, man. And just I mean, that's because I know how he moved and what he looked like when he came in here. And you know,
Quite the difference.
wow.
Yeah.
In about what it's been
Probably 4 months, maybe a little
four
more than
4 to 5 months,
Yeah, 4
maybe.
to 5
Let's say
months.
6 months. He's 6 years old, man.
Yeah.
You know, to see, how do you feel about the progression, the program, and
Honestly,
how we've accommodated?
Yeah, dude. No, honestly, I can't speak highly enough of it. I think from like the first month in, I was already telling family and friends like, dude, you got to get involved in this, you know. So when I reached out to you, I was kind of hoping that you still had the pup program going on, but when you said you didn't, you were quick to accommodate us for what you thought would be best, which was a father-son program. And being honest, that's kind of what I would really wanted, because, you know, I wanted to get myself in shape and just do something with him, you know, just getting a little vulnerable. I think there was a time in my early Christian walk where I was trying to really perform, right? Like we've talked about, you know, these expectations. And so a lot of that would take me away from the house. I was always helping other people, doing different things. And my wife really started to kind of hammer into me, you know, like, hey, you're helping everybody else, but you're leaving behind your family. And so I was like, man, I need to do something, right? And so, dude, I was praying about it, and this came up again. And when I came and you said that we could do a father-son program, it just couldn't have come at a better time for our relationship. And so, like, we've bonded. We talk about fighting class. He holds me accountable. I hold him accountable when he don't want to come, right? And stuff like that. And it's really helped our relationship. But even more than that, I would say, like, just helping him mature, I think is the best word that I could say. Not only physically, right? Like I was telling you, we play catch. And like I noticed when he grabs the ball, his hands are stronger, right? And more coordinated. But just like temperamentally, I'm not seeing, you know, things that used to cause him to have a tantrum or go off. It don't happen like that no more. He's more controlled. And before, I was telling you, you know, we would play fight, and he would just randomly sneak up on me and start hitting me and stuff, and we kind of wrestle around. Now I feel like he knows that the respect you should have and how people can get hurt, right? So like he doesn't really do that anymore. If anything, we kind of we'll talk about it, right? Okay, yeah, let's wrestle or whatever. Let's practice. Let's be responsible, right? Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, that's crazy, because you're talking about a 6-year-old.
Yeah.
You know, and even more so as a 6-year-old in the 21st century. You know, with all this, you know, we've really been on, you know, technology and we'll get in a little bit more to our AI and stuff like that. But, you know, anybody that says that it hasn't affected, you know, the development of children, it absolutely has, along with a lot of other things. So there is a lot of factors to it. But, you know, you have a career in that's predominantly telecommunications, technological, right? And when you first came in, you know, at 29 years old, I mean, you're
looked like I was 40, looked to move.
Well, I mean, yeah. Well, as soon as we got you on the mat, you know, and that's why here I really like to instead of just, you know, putting you on a scale, you know, taking out a fat caliper, you know, and putting you in the computer system that tells me what you need. You know, I kind of want to watch you, and I did. When I first saw, I was like, man, he's moving like he's in his 50s. Yeah. You know, and I know that your job, it it definitely takes a lot out of you.
What is it that you do, Jacob?
Yeah, so now so I work for AT&T mid-markets business, and so really I have about 200 or 250 accounts that have AT&T. Some of like the bigger customers, like Joe in Modesto is one of my customers, Collins Electric, Royal Electric, just like those bigger size companies. My job is to either maintain their cell phone service with AT&T, or if they don't have cell service, try to convince them to move over. And so that's what I do now. I've been with AT&T now about 8 years.
Sales and procurement kind of.
Sales, 100%. Yeah. A lot of computer work. Yeah. So like the first 4 or 5 years with AT&T, I was in retail. So I started as a part-time sales rep, and I could share, crazy testimonies, but really God moved me up to assistant manager within a year, a store manager, and just blessed me everywhere I went. And then kind of didn't progress the way I wanted to. In my last store, I got looked over for a couple of positions. One of my old bosses, he moved to Dallas, Texas, and he recruited me for this new role that they were rolling out, and it was inside sales. And so my location was based out of Dallas, but I got to work from home. And so that's where that kind of kicked in, right? I was literally in front of my computer from like 6 a.m. till about 4 or 5 p.m.
Wow. And this was about how many years ago? Was this before COVID?
This was right after COVID.
Right after COVID.
Yeah, this was right about maybe like 2 years after COVID. Now total, I think I've been in a business position for 3 years. So about 3 years ago. And yeah, literally just on the computer, prospecting, looking for customers to call, would call them, get shut down, get appointments, whatever it is, do the whole sales process orders, do billing, all that sort of stuff. So really just sitting down, right, on the phone in front of the computer. And man, I didn't realize it. Like we talked about, it was just like I guess you don't realize it until you're forced to be in a situation like this where like that toll,
you get out of your comfort zone a little bit.
Right. Yeah. And then I'm realizing like, man, I can't stretch and move as quickly as my mind wants to anymore. Like what happened?
You were an athlete, correct? In high school, you
played football.
And you are a big dude, man.
Yeah. Back then I wasn't, but yeah, never really worked out. I was playing football. I was 185 my senior year. I played D-line, and I think the next closest guy to me was 225. So I made my bread and butter just being quick, having good technique and everything. But yeah, once I got here, it was like, and that's part of it too. Like we talked about Alpha, go back to the beginning.
Yeah.
It was so crazy, like being here and like being humbled. I've always been, you get in street fights, all that sort of stuff. You kind of think a little highly of yourself. But then when I came here, man, it was so crazy because you think that you would get confidence from being here, right? And learning how to fight the real way. But it really humbled me. And it like showed me like, man, I don't know nothing,
Yeah, with
and
these little dudes over here.
Yeah, no, seriously, when you were correcting even just the way I stood and like how I would lean forward too much when I would strike. And I'm like, man, like it really humbled me to the point where like I was less confident in my abilities to protect myself, my family, right? Which is like reverse. You would think that you would start to build that confidence. But now I will say after, these 4 or 5 months, I think the confidence is building, right? Because I know I'm being taught.
To the foundation.
That's
exactly.
And that's really, that's the whole brand. That's what
Right.
Alpha means. So for anybody out there that doesn't, we're not marketing whizzes over here. So if we're not exactly, pushing that, commercializing that out there, what we do here is we bring people back to the beginning, back to the basics, back to the simplistics of not knowing anything.
Yeah.
And then building you from there, making you realize like, oh shit, I thought this, but in reality,
Right.
what I thought is this was the actuality of it, and then what we do is we in a reasonable, controlled way, we include practicality.
Right.
Let's look at, your job. Let's look at what it's doing to your body.
Right.
Let's strengthen you a little bit.
Yep.
And I remember, I think when we started, I think you were going for maybe your workouts were like maybe 10 to 12 minutes long.
Oh my gosh, dying, about to throw up.
And then as I started to preach stretching, rolling, brought out a roller, taught you how to roll out, and it's been an awesome process to work with you, man.
Yeah.
But that's what Alpha Fit is all about. It's about the process, and not and the cool thing about it is as you've gone through this process, your son has gone through his own, and it's for me, it's part of the job that is it's priceless. Like money can't purchase that.
No, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, when I'm telling you that I was praying for something like this, I was, right? Like something to where he would have an outlet, something that would teach him discipline, and then also something too that just like taught him about like biblical manhood, right? Like what it means to be a man. I think, coming from our Christian background, we have this, false sense that we need to be the nicest people on earth, right? Well, sometimes manhood isn't nice, and I think that's what I get from here too, right? Is it almost takes me back to like my Pee Wee football days. We had coaches who were not nice. Like we literally had parents crying on the sideline watching us.
You always had to have
do-
that coach, yeah.
Right, yeah. And
That
I was
hoorah
like,
coach, yeah,
man,
get in your
that
face.
made me who I was. Honestly, like those hard moments, I realized pretty quickly. Everything I did, I compared it to my Pee Wee football year. Everything I did in work, I'm like, man, this is not as hard as that. I can do this, right? And so, like, I think it's the same thing with Noah here. Like, man, this is tough, right? And things that we do outside of this, it don't compare to it, right?
No, and he'll be able to confidently be himself in
Yeah.
other endeavors
Right,
because they're not as difficult,
Right.
because they don't demand as much of them physically, mentally, and emotionally. Because
Mhm.
we're sitting here and we put you in situations where you almost feel helpless for a little bit, and
Yeah.
then we talk you through it.
Right,
And show you proper technique and
Right.
execution, and you find it, and then that's I guess in the past podcast I've talked about bringing teaching back,
Mhm.
and the art of teaching, and it's something that's been lost with technology.
Oh yeah,
Is everybody learns a whole lot, or everybody thinks they learn a whole lot utilizing technology, but really what they're doing is I think what do you call it in the data world? Data dumping.
data dumping. Yeah,
Data dumping?
on people.
What does that mean?
So like in retail, we dissected like every bit of information you can. How many door swings you had, how many receipts did you generate, how many TVs did you get off those receipts you generated, how many voice ads. And so like my boss would always say, don't just data dump your reps, right? You got to like where they're messing up and what they can improve on. Don't just dump all this info on them, and they're just like, okay, what do I do with this? You got to always tie it back and like teach them, like you're saying, right? How you can use this info to better yourself versus just spitting out of the mouth all this information that you're never going to put into practice.
Okay.
So, but yeah, no,
but
honestly,
the learning process is
Mhm.
completely different in an environment where you have to apply multiple sensories
yeah,
and intrinsic
right.
abilities that
Right.
that I believe that AI can't compete with.
Yeah, there's just things about the human connection that you're not going to get from technology or from data or whatever, and I think that's what, first praise God, but like last year, I just got an award for like 2024 top performer, right? And I'm not trying to brag about it. I'm saying,
Congratulations.
Oh,
Glory to God, right?
congratulations. Yeah, no, it's
But what I'll say
it's
is-
your work ethic, and it's how you approach
yeah,
things.
no, I believe that it's really a blessing from the Lord. But what he's shown me is that, it's really about your connections. Like 80% of sales, it's just the same thing you're doing here. It's connecting to people, right? People will buy from you if they like you, right? You don't got to have all this crazy stuff. It's just, your likability. But like what I would say, it's almost the same thing here. Like the connection, I think overall is kind of what spurs, I think, the success of your teaching. Because what I would, tell any parent out there that's looking for something to put your kid in is that, it's not comfortable here, right? Like the way sometimes like you're rough with the kids, but it's what they need, right? But it's coming from a place of love, and you can sense that, right? Very.
It's a
family.
different kind of love.
Right.
It's the way love is sold to us and told to us is well, and it only applies in one mindset,
Right. Right.
and for me, love has very many different forms, and I think sometimes maybe that cookie cutter approach to this is what love is. Love is kind. Love is patient. Love is
Right.
all that good stuff. The reality is sometimes love sucks. And love teaches in ways that adversity really can't, because through adversity, sometimes you just have defeat.
Yeah.
With
right.
love, it's not really defeat.
Mhm.
It's nurturing.
Yeah.
But it can be tough and still be nurturing.
Right.
And that's kind of what I'm talking about. The art of teaching is teachers, men and women out there with the ability to understand what I'm trying to explain here about, being firm,
Hmm.
and being straightforward,
Right.
and being factual, because when I talk to a child, I'm not, these aren't my feelings. These are
Right.
your feelings. These are
Right.
facts, and these are your feelings.
Right. No,
And the fact is in order to accomplish this, your feelings about this and the way is not going to help you accomplish it.
Right. Yeah.
You
No.
know, and when do you learn that?
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is I don't think we're teaching our kids young enough.
Absolutely.
And that's why I truly believe that, combat or training or even mental fortitude training,
Mhm.
which is what I do a lot of here with my VO2 max and my athletes and my conditioning program, is we really try to focus on people
Mhm.
learning how to focus
Right.
on more than just their feelings.
You get so by the movements.
Yeah, and it's like your feelings have nothing to do with this.
Right.
The more you feel,
Right.
the more you include emotion into this, the worse it's going to get.
Right.
Yeah.
You're 100% right. And I feel like we were talking about this the other day about, I think some of the biggest issue that we have is like just self-love, and if you haven't noticed by now, my most important thing to me is my relationship with Jesus, right? We've talked about it a few times. And the Bible talks about how in the last days men will be lovers of themselves. And I feel like you see that in a lot of kids nowadays. There's so much entitlement. Right? Me. It's all about me, how I feel, right? And all these things. And, I see that. And it's hard too not to fall into it as a parent, in these modern times.
I mean, you're literally in a fight against your kid inside your own house, all right? Where that's supposed to be like, I truly believe now, it's not because I grew up in a house that was my sanctuary. It was because that's what I always needed.
Right.
And that's what I always wanted. And that's what I've done with my kid.
Right.
Is when you go home, that's your safe haven, man. That's and technology and modern advancements have made it harder on parents to try to instill some of the morals and the behaviors that we want and we believe are acceptable, when everything out there is kind of chaotic. It's extremely it's everything's superficial.
Yeah.
Social media has made everything to where look what I got, look how I do it, and I see the struggles that parents have with kids, because I have it with my 14-year-old. But there's times where, we parents have to be mentally stronger,
Right.
and not give in.
Right.
Well, other kids I don't give a shit what other kids are doing.
Yeah.
At some point in time, we have to teach the responsibility that's going to come with all this ideal of freedom, because it's not. I'm watching kids basically become not just dependents, but almost enslaved by the technology that they use.
Yeah. No, I can't wait to get
because
into that.
they can't get their minds around anything but that. It just makes it so easy.
Yeah, there was something you said in the last podcast. I talked about, like pretty much culture dictating when you give your kids a phone, right? And so like it's the same thing. We've let culture corrupt us into thinking like that the way you love your kids is essentially spoiling them and
giving them what you didn't have,
right? Everything that they want, right? But honestly, if you look at the results, right, look at the fruit of that.
Might have been
it's not good.
Well, that might have been where the mistake went.
Right, right. Because it's all. I mean, like we've talked about, it's a lot of greed, right? So whatever they can do to market it.
And then also too, I came from the 20th century where mentality was different.
Yeah.
The men and masculinity was, now it would be toxic.
Yeah.
But the reality is a lot of that stuff, all right, kind of prepared me for the hardships that I put myself through as a young man.
Yep.
And a lot of those things that I learned, I had to utilize whatever was useful to adapt and to overcome and to continue to endure. And it's kind of funny because that's the mindset and the approach of my business, my teaching methods, my curriculum here is, and lo and behold, shoot, 30 days into 2025, you know, everything that I've been doing this last 11 years, business wise, has set me up perfectly for the shit that is going on right now, because it allows me to basically disconnect and realize the bullshit where the bullshit is, and spend less energy stressing and worrying about it. Not because I don't know about it. It's all out there.
Right.
It's all out there.
Right.
The writing's on the wall. We're not seeing it, or we're refusing to see it. But I'm not at a point to where I believe that technology is the answer. I believe the answer is human connection. I believe going back to exactly what you were making a point of,
Right.
is what we all have, but we have to do it on an individual basis. We can't, you know, preaching it and going out, and people are going to have to decide to do it.
Right.
You know,
Right.
For me, I always feel like I want to be a place where, if that's what you're thinking about doing, we're here for you.
Right.
We're here to support you. And again, just because I don't subscribe to religions doesn't mean that the connection that we've created,
Right.
that my ideals, my methodology hasn't run parallel with yours.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's never been a time where I felt like, man, okay, this isn't something that, you know, I should bring my son to. It's never been that at all. Or like I said, you can feel the love when you're here. And I feel like if we could just button up like the whole father-son experience that I've experienced here, it's like, honestly, like sometimes the best thing for you and your kid is not what feels the best, right?
It's
And I think
adversity.
it's adversity. Yeah,
Yep.
100%. It's making him tougher. And the biggest thing is like, you know, what's he gonna do when I'm not here, right? I want him to be a man who is respected, who loves people, who is not, you know, all about
Character.
himself, character, right?
Character.
And I feel like these times right here, let's be honest, there's not a lot of adversity that goes out on in the world, right? The most that you probably face is maybe
We're
somebody
pretty
bullying you on
pampered.
social media.
Mhm.
We're not out here, you know, having to hunt for animals and do our own farming. And
No, a lot of the stuff that we're doing it to ourselves.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. So like being here and exposing him to some sort of adversity that's going to make him tougher for the future. I think
Real.
is what
Real visceral adversity where
Right.
you're experiencing it.
right,
You're not just you know, Googling it and
Mhm.
going, ooh, or watching a video and
or playing a video game and
yeah,
you die and you
or
got to
like
restart. And that's
wa-
the biggest adversity.
or
you'll-
watching some
you
shit
know?
on YouTube
Right.
with somebody hack somebody else up with a machete.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
right,
And I said this in the reel that you made, Misa, where, you know, what you gonna do when you're in the burning house, when the
Right.
pressure's on you,
right.
and it's do or die.
Mhm.
You know, what kind of skills are you going to resort to, or
Mhm.
what kind of skills do you have that you'll be able to resort to?
Something that Google can't give you.
Something that Google
Right.
can't give you is
Right.
how to be able to, you know, calm yourself,
Mhm. Right.
take a deep breath,
Mhm.
and realize that you still have a chance here because you're still breathing.
And that's the best thing that we're doing here is that it's still exposing them to adversity, but it's controlled. No one's gonna die here.
Yeah, it's-
right.
no.
It might feel like it, but it's not gonna happen.
Oh man, I'll tell you what, they're every time that we get dudes in here that say they want to fight and we get them on the mats for a
We'll
little
never
bit.
see him again.
Oh man,
Yeah.
not only do we not see them, what happens is the old shit. You know, they get the old shit, and like, you know, like for us, it's like, to me, this is what I do. So you know, if I see that old shit in anybody,
Yeah.
I kind of just smile. Hey, you're right.
Right.
I don't know how many times I've had to do that to people, and it's I know what we're doing here.
Mhm.
It's supposed to make you feel like that.
Right.
Why? Because I want to see what you do when that happens. And
Yeah.
100% of the time, we see what happens when the pressure's on.
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah, so Raymond's the one who put me on to you guys, but there was some I was doing my own research, and I think it was on your Facebook or something that you had said that I was like, okay, I want to go there. You said that essentially you were kind of not talking down, but you were saying we don't just teach your kid, you know, karate and taekwondo. We want to teach them something that if somebody comes to fight them on the streets, they can use it. And I'm like, that's what you need. You need something that's not just going to teach you how to do this and do that.
Mhm.
You need some real world experience for the bad actors that are out there, so you can defend yourself, defend others who can't defend themselves, right? Like that's what really brought me to this place is the practicality, how you can actually use it, you know, to
Now,
so
right. We don't have to put you through any system. You know,
Right,
the
the belt
color of your
system.
belt
Yeah,
isn't going to dictate if you
Mhm.
can defend yourself
yeah,
when you're out there. You
Right.
know, and it's no disrespect to the arts. It's just that, you know, when you create your own stuff, like I had to
Mhm.
create because I don't come from money, man. I don't, you know, I don't come from shit. So, you know, lower middle class in a farm community in Patterson, when Patterson maybe had 3,000 people. Not this community, the Central Valley as you see it now.
yeah,
You know, it's literally a farm town,
Mhm.
farmeros, you know.
Mhm.
So, for me growing up, everything has had to be earned,
Mhm.
and anything that wasn't earned didn't last.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the good, the bad, and the ugly. So I feel like in today's age, I mean, we're seeing it, man. You know, the shit is hitting the fan
Oh
everywhere,
man,
and I understand the feeling that we, in media today, you know, the narratives that they push, you know, everything going on with technology right now. We've been on technology, started with the Brian Johnson dude.
Mhm. Mhm.
And it's kind of funny because the more I talk about technology, the more the headlines give me shit to talk about.
Right, right.
You know, because I think the last time you're just saying that, you know, how technology is going to affect healthcare, but technology isn't just going to affect healthcare. It's affecting our economy.
It's affecting everything.
You know, with
Yeah.
with the latest coming out of China with DeepSeek and you know, all these guys, basically all these tech billionaires that were, I remember saying that the inauguration was a little creepy with them, you know. Now all these tech, but now they're all rushing to try to save their asses because somebody that they thought wasn't capable
Mhm.
actually was doing the work behind the scenes
Right,
and
right,
came
right.
up and kind of made them look a little foolish,
Yeah, yeah.
you know,
They're trying
and
to monopolize it.
well, yeah, it's the way
Mhm.
it's corporate
It's
capitalistic,
corporate
you know,
capitalistic America.
America, man.
Mhm.
It's. I don't want to say I'm against it. I'm not against it. I understand it,
No, but
and
you're just aware of it.
I'm aware of it, and
Yeah.
that's kind of what I want to do here is build a universal program that can slowly, progressively teach people how to think for themselves.
Mhm.
You know,
Right.
and I think combat is a perfect foundation for that. Exercise is another good foundation for that. The problem with it is that and it's not that's what's funny is that I don't believe I'm in competition with anybody else because I don't believe anybody else provides a service that I want to provide because I want to teach on a level to where it's applicable and practical to everyday life on anything you do, whether you utilize it in the education system, whether you utilize it in your career, whether
Right.
you utilize it with your family, the calmness and the presence, and whether you utilize it with raising your children,
Right.
whether you utilize it with dealing with shitheads at work,
Mhm.
you know,
Right,
well,
right.
however, you know, however it's what we do here is going to benefit people for the better.
Right.
That's what we're about here. So that's because I don't come from this corporate venture capitalistic background.
Mhm.
As long as I, you know, pay my dues and pay my taxes and do the things that I have to do accordingly to running my business, I can run my business however the hell I want to.
Mhm.
And if I want to focus more on connecting with people,
Mhm.
then that's absolutely what I'm going to do. And what I believe is you know, the ripple effect
Mhm.
is right now I'm working with you and
Mhm.
your boy, and we're doing awesome things,
Yeah.
you know, and part of the growth is being able to offer customized programs
Mhm.
to people that need whatever. We're not about physiological aesthetics.
Mhm. Yeah.
We're about actual fitness. And what I say about actual fitness is fit to do what? What do you want to do? You want to fight? Let's get you fit to fight. You want to not walk around like a 50-year-old man no more at 29 years old
Yeah.
and spend some quality time with your boy at the
Yeah.
same time, you know, instill morals and virtues and characteristics that are going to be beneficial to him, well, then let's do that.
Yeah.
You know, if somebody comes in with a mom with a little girl that wants to strengthen and empower them, maybe lose a little weight and kind of learn a little bit more about how to exercise properly, learn about nutrition, sensible eating through Maquina meals, and talking to this man right here.
Always delicious.
You know what I'm saying? Who, you know, I would absolutely put any nutritionist up against
Oh yeah.
Esteban here.
About
Absolutely. Absolutely. To grab your certifications, nutritionist, I don't give a shit.
Yep.
What we do here is legit on all levels. It's
Right.
legit on all levels.
Right.
No, we don't have the state of the art 10,000 square foot shop.
Mhm.
No, we don't have the private financial backing. But I tell you what, we got here is human connections.
Yep.
And really that's what's going to change the shit that's going on out there.
Yeah.
You know, and that's basically what technology, let them have their race.
Mhm.
Let them have their wars, man.
Mhm.
You know, I know a lot of Raza, you guys are out there, you know, the deportation stuff going on, you know, immigration stuff going on, man. Hey, stay strong, my people. Stay strong. Times will pass.
Mhm.
Times will pass. Don't panic. You know, look for strength. It's everywhere. Sometimes it's where you least expect it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's all about overcoming and enduring. And honestly, I would say how maybe 90 in the 90 percentile of stuff that's out there, whether it's on social media, on TV, on YouTube or anything, it's all bullshit.
It's all bullshit.
It's all bullshit.
Most of it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not a statistician, you know, and maybe I'm just making a generalization, but the idea is that I don't think that technology has helped me grow in any certain way. I believe my own will, my own mind,
Mhm.
my own effort
Mhm.
has allowed my growth, my experiences,
Right. Right.
my failures, my connections.
Right.
My lack of connections.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, not everybody's going to like a motherfucker, you know,
Yeah.
and it's okay. It's
Right.
all right. That doesn't, you know, I don't even believe in bad. I believe there's just different.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's not enough universal approaches to anything. Everything's got to be, you know, you got
Right
to
or
take,
wrong.
well, and you got to take a side.
Mm-hmm.
Republican, Democrat.
Right.
Well, who gives a shit at this point? Because if we can't afford our mortgage, our rent, our meals,
Right.
if our kids' education is going to shit because, you know, kids are out there doing adult shit at 12 years old, 13 years old,
Yep.
calling each other wifey and hubby and shit when
Yeah.
they, you know, don't even know how to wipe their asses correctly.
Right. Right.
Nobody's even taught them that, you know.
Right. Yeah.
And, you know, and then you got these fucking tech guys out there, you know, basically just having a peeing war.
Mhm. Yeah.
And then we're getting called out on it by other countries. And there's mass hysteria. Where? In the media.
Mhm.
Not in my mind. Mass hysteria in your mind?
No,
You worried about it?
not necessarily.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. I think part of it is, you know, what the end goal is. And I think we were talking when we were working out, you know, just kind of how I was listening to in preparation for this, one of the pastors who like is super big on digging in and doing research. And he was saying that, I don't know who it was, they quoted him that AI is like the new electricity. Back when electricity was first invented, you know, it was a big buzzword. People knew that it was going to change everything forever. And it's the same way with AI now, right?
Same thing with the computer. Everybody.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, no.
Right.
Just,
And then, yeah, and
it's just the newest thing.
Right. Yeah, but to me, I mean, so like I feel like I know where this is all going. You know, to be honest, I think just from a biblical perspective, you can look at AI and I think it matches up to what you read about in Revelations, which is the image of the beast, which is really just a way for them to monitor you, to know what you're thinking,
absolutely.
to know.
And here's the thing: is a large majority of the people out there know that,
Right.
And then some shit comes out, and then throws everybody off.
Right.
And that's where we kind of take that approach where it's like, you know what? Again, all that shit is a tool.
Yeah. Well, think about it though. Like the smartphone. How long? So when the first iPhone came out, how long from when it came out? How many years passed to where people were hooked on it, dependent on
Oh
it?
man, see,
Not long.
I don't
Within
even
what?
know,
Within
right?
10 years,
Not long
probably
at all.
shorter than
Because
that.
I was gone. I was taken from society for a good 5-year
Phone
portion.
generation's
Yeah.
so new.
So
Yeah.
that's why I think that I've stayed on the path that I've stayed is
Mhm.
because my path wasn't technological.
Right. Right.
My path was literally in an 8x10 with my hands in my lap
Yeah.
and nothing but the thoughts of my actions, my behaviors, my background.
Not a soul searching.
And when I came home, everybody was on these phones and it, honestly, it just blew me away
Yeah.
how
Weird you
disconnected.
out. Yeah.
And this was back in 2008, man. And I was like, dude, everybody's disconnected.
Right.
And I've
And you can
watched
see
the
it.
evolution of this,
Right.
man. And that's why I started this 11 years ago. That's why I started AlphaFit.
Right.
Is because I've watched the evolution of technology because I missed out on where everybody was getting brainwashed on fucking iPhones. I was literally doing push-ups
Mhm.
and running in place and burpees. And I was only thinking about what I was gonna do with my next opportunity.
Right.
And I'll tell you what, I don't give a shit how much time I'm separated from when I came home. I'm always gonna behave like I just got home. I'm never gonna forget it.
Grateful.
And
yeah.
there's nothing technology, AI can do to make my life so much easier that I'm gonna give myself up to it. And I
Yeah.
sure as fuck ain't gonna allow that to happen to my kid.
Right.
And if my kid hates me for it, I tell you what, I think that's the thing with kids is we end up growing up to hate our parents for one reason or another. So if that's gonna happen anyways, at least she's gonna be extremely smart
Right.
due to experiences
Right.
and watching other people make the mistakes that I wouldn't allow her to do. Why? Because I thought I'd teach her exactly what technology is for and how
Right.
to utilize it,
It's a
and
tool.
not to be fooled by it.
Don't be dependent on it. Right. Like, so for example, Esteban, we're almost the same age, right? So like pre-cell phones, were you able to memorize like your house number, phone numbers, right?
Dude, I knew directions.
Right. Right.
Now-
I feel so fucking old right now.
Dude, I would.
I was such a
had at
baby,
least,
right?
I had like 5 to 10 people's phone numbers memorized. Right now, probably 2, mine and my wife's. That's it.
Yeah.
You know, because why? We're dependent
I
on these
forget my
phones
own
to
phone
store
number
this data
sometimes.
for us, right? And now we're literally, I don't even, honestly, when I'm at work, I don't even try to do simple math anymore. I just plug it in
Mhm.
my calculator, right?
I'm
Yeah.
telling you, hey.
So it's gone
And,
from a tool.
and
to
you know what?
dependence,
I'm still
just like that.
I'm such a fucking oppositional, defiant motherfucker. I still do math in my head.
You break out the
bro.
pen and paper.
No,
and,
I'll do it in my head, bro. I'll do
Oh,
it
yeah.
in my head. I'll figure it out in my head. And
Right.
if they're big numbers, I will break out a piece of paper. You know why?
Yeah.
Is because my mind is the ultimate computer. I don't give a shit what Elon says.
Like
He's
you,
half of the
yeah.
shit he says is a fucking lie, and he's doing it to get a big laugh. I'm telling you, Elon's out there laughing his ass off. He don't give a shit. Well, you know, he's probably I bet you what? I bet you he's very appreciative of the Chinese because they kind of showed us how weak we actually are
right.
to take them lightly.
Mm-hmm.
I would never take any opposition lightly. We
Right.
don't take any opposition lightly.
Can't
We don't
underestimate
give a
any
shit
opponent.
what your record is, where you're from.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we're going big game hunting, but the reality is I'm not, you know, our concern is what's under our control.
Right. Right.
And I believe that's something that can be trained.
Mhm.
And again, I'm not taking the easy route here. I'm not taking the more common road.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
It's so hard though, you know, because like it's literally right
Tell me
there
about it,
before
bro.
you. You know, you're just so easy just to give in, cave in, and use it. And that's what what I'm feeling like is coming down the pipeline. Is, I mean, Elon's already said it, right? He said that we're basically cyborgs now. The difference is we use our phones to connect to the internet. So he has a company, Neuralink, to where you can get a chip implanted to your
Yeah.
brain, connect to the internet directly, right? Which I
That's scary, man.
100% believe that's the mark of the beast, and that's how they're going to be able to shut you out from buying or selling unless you take it. But again, right? So if that's the case, I don't even think they're going to have to force people to take it. I really believe people are going to line up for it, because why not? I'm already on my phone all day. If I could just think about a question to it, you know, an answer to a question, why not?
Unless,
Do you think it'd be
unless
that easy to get people
Hey.
to feel conform to getting something
do.
drilled
So-
into their head?
I believe it too.
I do.
I
don't-
believe it too.
I don't believe our generation. I believe the younger generation who has
That's
grown up
true.
with phones in their
Yeah,
hands.
That's true.
The reason I say that is because I was telling you, right, how my dad used to do Uber, right? And he talked to some Google engineers who laughed about AI and said, hey, it's just algorithms that go back and forth until they get the answer correctly.
Mm-hmm.
And he would ask people, interview them, right? Like, hey, what do you think about this? Would you get a chip implanted in your brain? Most people our age would say no.
Yeah, because it's not the normal.
It's not the normal. But
No,
there was
Johnny,
like
was, remember Johnny was over here on that last podcast going, well, maybe.
Yeah.
there was a 16-year-old kid who said, I can't wait for
That
that.
was Johnny. Johnny,
Right.
see me, Johnny, you're out there,
Normal.
fool. Remember that? You said it, fool.
That's what I'm
You
saying,
said-
right? I don't think,
You'd feel left out by
Exactly.
not getting it.
right? And the
Because-
thing is to even think about it from a parenting perspective. If your kid wants to be a doctor and you don't want them to mess with that chip and connect to the internet with AI, right? You're going to study books versus
Mhm.
somebody who can just connect and think about it, right?
Sure.
And get the answers right away. They're going to
Yeah.
have the advantage over your kid 100%. And I think right now we're seeing the foundation being laid, because think about it. How many kids are in college using Chat GPT for their answers to their tests, to write their paper?
Mhm.
We're already being
Mhm.
programmed to be reliant on AI. So
Mhm.
why not just take it? And
See,
just
but
get the
hey,
answers?
but there's also another side to it, right? And I've looked into it before I say shit about it, right? But there's actual occasions where Chat GPT goes rogue.
Yeah.
You
right.
know, I think there was like a 14-year-old kid. I don't know if it was in Florida or something. I mean, I guess I could look it up, but you know what? That's kind of what my mind.
Mhm.
I remember.
Yeah.
Right. It's a
Right.
14-year-old boy that I think character AI was the program he was using, and it made him fall in love with
Oh, he killed himself, right?
Yeah, he killed himself.
Suicide.
Killed himself. He
Mhm.
killed himself. He was a 14-year-old kid, the age of my daughter,
Over some freaking.
over
stupid
some make believe
Person.
artificial
Yeah,
human
it's crazy.
being.
Mhm.
So like, I don't know how many kids you want to lose like that to wake the fuck up.
Mhm.
Because to me, all it takes is one. And, fucking prayers go out to the family, man. Holy
Crazy, dude.
shit. To
I
be a
can't-
victim of that.
Who
To
do
be
you
a victim of
who do you
that,
even
bro.
get
Think
angry
about
at?
that.
Like, who
Yeah,
even, like-
you're right.
Crazy.
And you don't. What I feel is, and that's what I'm here for, is that I never really bought into it like that. That doesn't mean that I never say never.
Mhm.
You have to utilize some stuff.
Right.
It
right.
has to happen. I understand that, especially for growth, business growth, and I have to accept some of those evils. But I don't even get on this phone or on Instagram for more than 30 minutes at a time.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Right. It
I
can
have
suck you in.
Why? And it's not because I don't want to see what everybody's doing, or I don't want. The reality is that I'm busy doing what the fuck I'm doing.
Yeah.
And what the fuck I'm doing is focusing on people other than myself.
Yeah. I think you even said before, you told me that sometimes you'll throw your phone. Like, man, I've been,
Yeah, it's
30
stupid.
minutes too long,
It's fucking dumb.
And I was telling Esteban that my wife makes fun of me because I'll go through these bouts of I'll delete my Instagram, because I know like I'm spending too much time on this. It sucked me in, But yeah, I mean, back to AI, like even I know professionals now that are using it for like life advice. I know brothers that are using it to help write, like Bible studies. And I'm like, man, like, where are you? So like for Christians, we believe the Holy Spirit helps us, right? Makes decisions, gives us wisdom, guidance, all that sort of stuff. And AI is a counterfeit version of that. So I'm like, man, I don't even want to mess with that stuff. But then, overall, I just feel like, yeah, I mean, I think we're seeing the foundation being laid right now for people to be so dependent on it.
I think that dependency, what it's essentially going to do is dole out creativity.
Oh, it's going to make you less
Well, it
human.
already has. It already has.
Right. It's going to
That's one of the reasons why too is creating on the daily basis is something that I do diligently, and I do that according to the human. So what I understand too is from neurological studies in biology, so molecular biology, is that we don't know that much about ourselves. How would it be in our best interest to allow something artificially that we also created, humans also created?
You don't know who's in control of that behind the scenes, right?
So I'm not buying it.
Right.
So I'm not buying it. So artificial intelligence is just that. It's artificially intelligent.
Yep.
That means if I really focus on what I need,
Mhm.
I'm more intelligent
Mhm.
than artificial intelligence.
Right.
And I might not be more intelligent for the masses, but I tell you what, I'm more intelligent for me, for what I need, for
Right.
what my child needs, for what my people around here need,
Yeah.
for what my community needs. You know, so to me, that's a life lived, man. And it's not about easy.
Yeah, and I feel like right now we can still think this way, right? But eventually, I feel like it's just going to come to a point where we can't. We're going to literally need it, or else we're going to die off, right? Like even you're asking about work, right? And how like that, how AI is kind of involved in that. And so like I know sales reps that are using ChatGPT to write, sales related emails to their customers. I know people who are using different AI tools to listen into their sales calls, and then it'll go back and tell them how they could have done better. What? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just coming to that point where it's like we're relying on it professionally. Why not rely on it for everyday life
Everything else.
advice, right? Everything
Mhm.
else, right? Like, what do they even need us for anymore if we can't be salespeople?
Mhm.
We're relying on a computer
Yeah.
to tell us what to do, what's right, what's wrong. And I think, looking into this, I think even like the military is using AI for certain decisions that they make, right? And it's just like, man, how could we, like you said, trust something that people built regardless? It's artificial. It ain't real.
And everything that I do here is that's why, the oppositional brand for Team Maquina is we're oppositional to traditional arts. And not to the point to where we disrespect them. We just didn't learn like that. We pieced it together for survival,
Yep.
for competition,
Yep.
right? For truth.
Hmm.
Because when shit goes down, you better be ready.
Yep.
And that's Cypress Hill, as a matter of fact.
I mean,
So
yeah, and
shout
I
out
think
to Cypress Hill on that one. But
for
when the
sure.
shit goes down, I'm telling you. But how are we gonna be ready for the shit that's about to go down if we're not even fucking ready to deal with remembering fucking phone number?
Yeah, no, it's bad, man. It's kind of embarrassing, but it's just the truth, right? I know.
I
I ain't the only one. I know. I
It
ain't
was
the
just the
only
first
one.
thought that came into my head. Oh shit, that's right. We don't remember phone numbers.
Dude, honestly, like I'm
You know
still-
what a trip is?
Huh.
Is I get a lot of like spam shit, and I screen a lot of shit because I'm in a metal building, and again I'm living in the moment. I'm present all the time.
Right,
You know,
right.
so but I look at numbers and I start memorizing. Oh, I know. Oh, that one's from LA. Oh, that one's from,
Yeah.
and then I'll even look at a number, and I could be with a client, I can look at a number and know, like, boom, they're going to leave a message, and they're going to leave a message. So, like I said, I think we need to find out more about ourselves before we start giving ourselves to shit else
Oh, yeah.
that is gonna eventually rule us.
Mhm.
Only because then what we're really doing is we're relinquishing our freedom.
Right, 100%.
And for me, I don't even believe we're as free as we think we are now. But I'm going to exercise whatever components of my free will
Right.
that I can from now until the day I die. And
Yeah.
that's the cabron in me. That's the dude
Mhm.
that will not conform to something that doesn't make sense. It
Right.
doesn't make sense. I don't give a shit. If you're confusing, it's because you want confusion.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right? I'm not confusing anybody. I'm being straight up. You come in here, if you're fucking your hammies are weak, if your posture sucks, if your cardio is shit, I'll tell you. If you're eating and shit, if you don't start applying stretching, rolling,
If you ain't rolling every day,
yeah,
it should be. Yeah.
preemptive
Mm-hmm.
health and wellness tactics,
Yeah,
then
right.
hey man, you suffer that shit. And like I said, a lot of times, like, people want to stand behind their professional facade and not be honest with motherfuckers. Dude, I'm going to be honest with you
But we need
100% of the
Yeah,
time.
right.
Like I'm your fucking brother, like I'm your cousin, like I'm family to you. Because why? Because I want what's best for you.
Right.
The good, the bad, or the ugly, I don't give a shit, man. I want what's best for you. I want what's best for your son. I want what's best for everybody that comes through here.
Right.
I want what's best for the Palacio family. I want what's best for everybody. Why? Because there's more than enough goodness in this world to go around. Stop being greedy, motherfuckers. Stop being greedy. Keep your fucking money. It doesn't even exist. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, we have to disconnect from that shit and learn to reconnect with this shit.
Yep.
And I don't know how to put it in simpler terms than that.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. If it's simple, it's the truth. And if it's complicated, it's bullshit. And the fight will continue. I tell you what, because we're only 30 days into this motherfucker. And Trump has said some stupid shit. Do you have that clip of Trump? Oh, come on. You got to play that track. The one clip, at least one clip, because I want to start integrating clips into my podcast so I can talk a little shit about it. And I believe it was the first 20 seconds of the Fox News. And again, Fox News, we already know you got your own motherfucking agendas and narrative, right? But it's the first 20 seconds where he says
DeepSeek AI from a Chinese company should be a wake-up call for our industries that we need to be laser focused on competing to win, because we have the greatest scientists in the world. Even Chinese leadership told me that.
Chinese leadership told me. Chinese leadership told me. Oh, shit.
I would never lie.
Oh, my God. They also told him he had the best fucking hair in the world, too, huh? And they said that his skin complexion is perfect.
I've never looked.
Hey, you know, all I'm saying is that, all right, honestly, I could sit here and have a whole fucking clip episode where we pull clips from CNN, from CNBC News, from Fox News.
They're all contradicting themselves.
And they all have their own fucking narratives. But at the end of the day, everybody that, you know, wanted Trump. Here's the thing.
Trump don't want you.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter whether it was Trump, Biden, Kamala. It doesn't matter. Shit was going to hit the fan anyway. Why? We're on that path. We're on that path. We're distancing ourselves more from us, from humanity. We're being more reliable on outside sources than on internal.
Right.
And for me, like I said, the fight will continue here every step of the way. I'm still kind of innovating and figuring out my whole, you know, business foundation and marketing footing. But honestly, I don't want to compete in a market that wants to fucking sell shit to people for the moment. I'm trying to make sure that I teach people stuff for their eternity, for their life. Something that you can use now, that you can use next year, that you can use 3 or 4 years
It's not
from
just
now.
something that you can use, it's something that you can take and teach to the people around you.
And honestly, my overall goal is that you take it and you evolve.
That goes back to the ripple effect.
You know, and you become one with yourself so that you can be one with others. And really, that's to me, that's heaven, bro. When people can all just be together and really like that commercial love. But first, you got to kick a little bit of ass. So don't get mad. Don't get mad if I fucking ruffle your feathers by telling you the truth or anything like that. But I think it's time. I think in this day and age, it's time for the truth. It's time for the unfiltered, uncut. Stop being fucking stupid and paying attention to shit that doesn't matter. Bring it back home. Bring it back to the beginning. Bring it back to yourself. Bring it back to your foundation, what you want to be all about. So I thank you so much for coming on the podcast, bro. I love you're extremely intelligent. You're well spoken. You're an awesome dad to your son.
Appreciate that.
I can't wait to see you evolve and do the things that you need to do for yourself, your family, and your community. You know,
move around like a 29-year-old.
Yeah,
can't wait,
you're doing
man.
good right now, man. I'll tell you what, brother.
And you guys killed me today. I didn't know how much I was gonna be able to say on this podcast.
Well, we wanted that second wind to come in, hopefully.
Oh man.
Yeah, it did, bro.
Yeah,
You
it did. Yeah,
You
just
did
in
a good
time.
job. And like I said, everybody out there that tunes in, whether you're tuning in live or you tune in later, you know, again, we appreciate it. And we want the best for everybody. Even though we might call you out if we have to call you out, it's only to make an example of our mindset, our approach, and how we want to do better. Because a lot of times we get sucked into the things outside of us. So stop doing that shit. Be more internal, intrinsic. The answers are within. You know, and you need guidance. That's what we're here for. So, any last thing? You guys got anything to say
I'm gonna
about?
plug in Maquina Meals.
Oh, thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you very much. So, hey, we need to do a better job of getting out there and fucking telling you guys what exactly is going on with Maquina Meals. Every Wednesday we come out. This man comes out
On a
with
weekly basis, yeah.
with new and improved flavors.
Yeah, well,
and
usually
sauces.
it just has to do with whatever's in season. So we keep things, on a fresh rotation depending on what's in season for the month or whatever. But it's just it's food that I've learned through my nutrition and being an athlete on how to optimize the food to make me feel the best that I can when I'm training, to help my recovery, and just overall make me feel like a better human being. So if you want to give a try to some of that food, not only is it good,
Tell them what
gonna make you
why don't
feel
you just
good,
tell them what it is
but-
this week? Because
yeah, let me read off the menu. Do you mind?
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
that menu
So-
out. Yeah, look at he's like, I'm hungry. You guys are
This-
talking too damn much.
Oh no.
Technical difficulties.
Just hold it.
I
That's all
can,
right. Hey,
I
I'll
can plug
fucking
Esteban.
yell.
I get it like almost every weekend. Oh my
So
God.
this goes back to the creativity thing that we were talking about earlier, and I consider myself a pretty creative person, and I like to make things that I enjoy. So I'm gonna read off the menu. This week we have pineapple and Swiss roasted potatoes, which pretty freaking good.
Have you tried those?
No, it's it's
tonight actually.
the pineapple. I basically just took a whole pineapple, I roasted it, turned that into a really caramelized sauce, and then
Shut your mouth, boy.
I marinated the potatoes in it, let them roast for a little bit to develop that nice little crust in them, and then
love, bro.
threw-
That's love,
Right.
motherfucker.
throw in
That's
little
love.
chunks of Swiss. That way, when you pop that bad boy in the microwave, they just you get little melted pockets of Swiss mixing with the pineapple and the
Hey,
I'm
this
hungry,
is the
man.
that's making this
Yeah,
stuff.
Let's wrap this up so I get my food.
yeah.
All right, so what's next?
That's the first one. We got the second one is a pasta, and it's a bacon, lemon, herb, garlic parm linguine. And I think that's all you need to the description. It's just a creamy sauce, linguine. There's some bacon bits in there. There's a couple of herbs, some lemon zest, some garlic, roasted garlic. So
all organic, non-processed, natural food, man.
Everything's made by
That
scratch.
tastes good.
From
It tastes good.
scratch.
Yeah.
Then we got chipotle tri-tip with sauteed onions. It's a creamy chipotle sauce with a grilled tri-tip and sauteed onions in that bad boy. Delicious. Then the last one we got is bacon cheddar and Swiss ground beef with roasted garlic and sweet pepper. So that's what we got on the menu this week. Wednesday,
Maquina
Thursday,
meals.
and Friday. Next week we'll have something else, but it'll be just as good, if not better.
Preach.
All right.
It's good.
Cool. Shout out to again, Misa. You're fucking doing awesome. You're helping us evolve. You're learning more about your trade. You're fucking killing it. I just wanted to take a moment out to give you your props, girl. Thank you. Thank you very much. Again, brother, thank you for coming on.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for sharing the ass whipping that you got today.
Oh man, my back hurts.
It's not supposed to be easy, folks.
Yeah.
Not supposed to be. But again, it'll be customized to you. So don't get scared. Don't get scared. Right. And the meals, dude, good job, bro. Honestly, you guys got to try them. We'll get better at marketing them. You got a nice little label fucking maker. So it's looking cleaner. We're reaching that bougie stage. We just we got to do a little bit more work to it.
Finding in the lab.
Yeah, for the marketing. So come get your Maquina meals. They're $10 for 2 servings of protein or 2 servings of complex
We
carbs.
got meats and sides.
Yep. All right. Occasionally you'll make a dessert, but hey, tune in. Check us out on Instagram. T Maquina, Alpha Fit, Fight Education. So you know where we're at. We ain't fucking going nowhere. Stay strong.